Mrs. Fajon has said that the EPP would be insinuating that the rule of law in Malta collapsed after the assassination of Daphne Caruana. The truth is, we insinuate that the rule of law collapsed a long time before that murder, and that this murder is one of the consequences of the total collapse of the rule of law in Malta. That it is one of the consequences of the privatization of state institutions, the subjugation of institutions of state to the private interests of the highest actors of the state and of one particular party, that created the atmosphere, created the circumstances in which such a heinous crime could take place in the 21st century in the middle of the European Union. The contempt in which the Maltese governments hold this House, by the way, has never been more visible than by the fact that Mr. Maasikas has to defend Malta in this debate. Have we ever seen the Hungarian Prime Minister, and everyone knows that I'm not carrying him in my heart, refusing or cowing out from defending his country or a potential attack on his country in this House? We've never seen anything like that. We now see Mr. Maasikas, who has nothing to do with the corrupt practices of the Maltese government, having to stand up for something which is indefensible and unjustifiable. Some of Daphne's last written words were, "There are crooks everywhere you look, the situation is desperate." Well, depending on where you looked, you always saw the same thing. That's prominent people from Azerbaijan. Very prominent people from Azerbaijan in company of very prominent people from Malta, virtually half the leadership of the Labour Party. Be that the Prime Minister, be that the Prime Minister and his small party who travelled there unaccompanied and brought back I don't know what, or be that Mr. Farrugia, who's still the Speaker of the Parliament of Malta and who's nothing better to do than regularly travel there and applaud them for the brilliant elections that they hold. This is what has rotten Malta through. That the fact that a country like Azerbaijan could insinuate itself in the form of a bank called Pilatus in the heart of a European democracy, and from there reach out its tentacles to stifle democratic expression. This is what we're confronted with. This is why this murder needs to be investigated, and this is why no angle needs to be left untouched in this investigation.
La parole est maintenant à Monsieur Sant.